The Writers Guild of America is saying that they stand in solidarity with SAG-AFTRA as the Actors Guild bargains for a new contract. That message, the first from the WGA since SAG-AFTRA extended contract talks until at least July 12th, and as the writers' own strike enters its third month.
With more, we are joined once again by entertainment attorney and freelance journalist Jonathan Handel. Jonathan, thank you as always. As Alex just pointed out, the SAG-AFTRA negotiations, those talks continue through at least next Wednesday. Is it still looking like, do you think that the actors are going to strike?
I think they probably will, but of course crystal balls are always somewhat cloudy. There's no way of knowing for sure. But, you know, if you look at all the factors, the climate locally, as you just mentioned, the hotel workers, the climate across the country, the discontent that workers have, the 98% strike authorization vote that they got, what I'm hearing from people, the fact that both factions are united. In fact, they have a unity ticket running for their elections this summer, headed by Fran Drescher as president and on down. Now, that's never happened before, that degree of unity. So it's all signaling a union that is ready to strike.
And you said they're literally making the signs now, right?
They are literally making the signs now, according to reports. They're making the signs, they're making the T-shirts, they're drawing up lists of who's going to, you know, coordinate at each lot, at each studio lot. So they are gearing up for a strike.
Well, this is day 65 of the WGA strike. As mentioned, we're going into the third month. So if SAG-AFTRA and WGA have joined forces, does this mean then that WGA will continue striking indefinitely?
Well, of course, indefinitely is a long time, as our parents always used to say, but, you know, but in fact, if SAG does strike, SAG-AFTRA more formally, that will put wind in the sails for the writers and will be an encouragement. Now, that could lead to a shorter strike if the studios get the message and say, you know, look, we've got both these unions on strike. Now we really have to buckle down and get a deal done, or it could lead to an extended strike.
Yeah, one of the things that this strike is over what do we do about artificial intelligence, both for the writers, for the actors. Also IATSE, which does a lot of the behind-the-scenes work. They put out their suggestions on what they want to see for artificial intelligence. What are they saying?
So IATSE, which is the crew union, issued a set of guidelines, not guidelines, but a set of going forward plans, basically. Their bottom line is that and they're the union, I should say, that represents most crew. So whether it's the director of photography, the cinematographer, the editor, whether it's the people that do the background painting, whatever it is, they are likely to be IATSE members. And IATSE is saying AI and machine learning have to be tools, not replacements for workers. Now, that's going to be very, very hard because we know from the history of technology, starting with, you know, the beginning of the industrial age, that tools they up the ante, they become replacements for some workers, they become skill enhancers for others. It's a very complicated thing, but they are taking a solid line, and we should note their contract is up next year.
Oh, gosh, one strike after the other. Okay, also noteworthy, ahead of the strike, Netflix had already gone ahead and invested, what, some $205 billion in content overseas. They've gone to South Korea, for instance, and essentially gotten their content to bring it here. That's not good for U.S. writers.
Well, and it turns out it's not always good for South Korean writers either, or crew members. And LA Times reporting last week that And you know, in terms of shows, think Squid Game, for example, the big shining example, Netflix show produced in Korea. But the writer of Squid Game actually got paid apparently very little for the first season. And the attitude of Netflix was, well, if it's a hit, we'll make it up to you in the second season. Meanwhile, the workers, the crew members, the directors, the actors, report to the LA Times that there is, throughout the South Korean film industry, frequent what we call wage theft. In other words, you're being forced to trim down your time card and not get paid overtime, not get paid for all the hours you work. And Netflix that's Netflix's supply chain.
And of course, the irony of that is the whole point of Squid Game is that corporations are taking money and taking advantage of everybody, and people aren't getting paid their fair share. So I guess they made the point.
Life imitates art and vice versa.
Yeah. All right. Jonathan Handel, good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.